Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today and we got a batch of Fallout 76 details to go over. There is a brand new PvP mode in Fallout 76 called HunterHunted we'll be discussing from PCGamer.com, and also there's a ton of new info over on Bethesda.net. Now I've covered a lot of that information on my channel already via my impressions and other coverage through the Fallout 76 event, but there were some new tidbits there that I want to highlight for you guys and bring to the table for discussion. But first, let's focus on HunterHunted, the new PvP mode in Fallout 76. Fights like these are simply a function of the multiplayer sandbox, but there's also a more direct PvP mode for people who really want to hunt other players. Appropriately, it's a radio station called HunterHunted, which you can access via your Pip-Boy. Whenever you tune into HunterHunted, you receive an assassination target, and you're marked for assassination yourself. Only HunterHunted listeners can be selected as targets, but the person you're hunting isn't necessarily the person hunting you. So it's more of a round-robin style deathmatch. From what we heard at Bethesda's most recent Fallout 76 event, where we finally got to play the game, assassinating someone via HunterHunted gives better rewards than randomly attacking and killing players. It's also totally optional and insular, so I'm hopeful it will provide a satisfying PvP mode that doesn't intrude on the exploration and RPG elements Fallout games are known for, which feels like Bethesda's goal with PvP as a whole, to add tension to the social elements of Fallout 76 without making it feel like a cutthroat survival game. Hot take, if we're gonna have multiplayer in Fallout and we're gonna have PvP, this seems to be the right way to do it. With the griefing methods that are already in place and now an option for players who just want to go in and kill other people, that they can listen to a radio station and start hunting players around the map, that's fantastic. Really the only obstacle here is that Fallout 76 doesn't have server lists, so you can't find a PvP server where other players are listening to HunterHunted, and you have to hope that when you sign in, other people are playing it in what is already a pretty small player count on this server. However, I like this because it's more rewarding for the player, so it's going to discourage them to come into people's games, shoot them, slap them around, and be mean to them when they can just listen to the HunterHunted station, assassinate targets that way, and get rewarded more for it. That, on paper, at least mechanically so, is solid balance. It's encouraging the player to take a choice that doesn't really disrupt the primary experience, but even if they try to disrupt the primary experience, Bethesda already has methods in place like blocking, reporting, and also the wanted system when you are a murderer, which kind of discourages the player from taking the role that can ruin people's experiences. So overall, I'm liking what's here. Like I said, biggest concern is just how much HunterHunted can I play if I join a server, which I can't select, that no one's playing HunterHunted on. Now it's over to the Bethesda.net article. Starting off with the camp, your camp allows you to access your stash, a container for safe and permanent storage of things you want to keep. Your stash can also be accessed at stash containers found at train stations and Red Rocket stations. This was actually a question I did receive quite a bit from you guys was, hey Matty, wait, this is an online game. I just can't throw my stuff in a random container in the world because a player could take it. That is true. So yes, you do have stashes in the game where you can put all your collectibles. For me, it would be in my head kind of like back at Sanctuary. I'd store everything at the Sanctuary workshop in Fallout 4. That was like the main hub for me to bring all my rare weapons, my rare armor, extra materials. Because carry weight hasn't changed in Fallout 4. It's still the same base value when you start off, and it still increases via putting points into your strength and getting perk cards for carry weight. Now what's cool is, of course, you can have, for example, the charisma card, which allows you to share some of these perks that you have, so you can give some of your teammates in your squad additional carry weight. The systems sort of feed off each other in that manner. But yes, there is ultimately a place to store all of your extra goodies or your materials that you can empty out your carry weights and then go back into the world and explore and continue collecting again. However, let's say that you are over encumbered and you have too much on you. When the inventory exceeds your carry weight and you are over encumbered, you cannot sprint or fast travel, though you can still jump and move at your normal running speed. However, your normal movement drains action points and your movement slows to a crawl when your AP runs out. To get back below your carry weight, drop some items, or even better, place your camp nearby and store excess items in your stash box for later use. You can also scrap all your junk at any workbench you come across. So once again, this goes back to the strength and the strength perks, the running around and having AP be drained and being allowed to fast travel even when you're over encumbered, all comes from Fallout 4 and that strength path. However, with Fallout 76, it kind of strips that all down and just lets you do it right off the bat. One issue I kind of had with this was Fallout 76's HUD was very cluttered and all over the place, and there was so much stuff happening and so much data to track in a very short period of time. I don't know how this will go in the long run, but it was hard to maintain all the data coming in. So when I was over Encumbered, something that is pretty easy to tell in a Fallout game, I actually was kind of caught off guard until I was running around and all of a sudden I started slow walking and I realized, oh, now I'm over Encumbered. But there's so many notifications and stuff popping up on the screen. I'm already knowing that I'm turning off those in-game hints right away because there's just too much coming in. I'd rather learn the game myself, man. But anyway, this is how over encumbrance works. And yes, you can just place the camp down, scrap your stuff, store it, move on. Combat. VATS is now performed in real time, as we all know, and useful in locating enemies for an AP cost. Stealth factors into VATS and HUD visibility for player versus player combat. Teams share in loot from enemies killed by their teammates. All players that assist in creature kills are granted full XP. Nothing major here, but there's two things I do want to account for. One of them I received a lot of questions about. The other is actually a minor detail that no one had really noticed. I think Fudge Muppet had actually covered it on their channel, but when you initially use VATS, sometimes we'll use it to scan the area, see where people are, and then we'll exit it at no cost. But in Fallout 76, the second you enter VATS, you are paying an AP cost. So it's not something that you can use for tracking and scanning, and then you can exit out. The second you use it, it uses up some of your AP. And since AP is also used for sprinting, for example, you don't want to be too careless with it, especially in combat where VATS can, a lot of times, even though I don't like it in Fallout 76, save your butt. The other question I got was about balancing with the game and how certain mechanics from BGS games factor into this one because it's online, such as stealth. Stealth has always been king in BGS games because you can do some insane critical damage and really work around the not too good AI in the titles. Now it does say that stealth factors into VATS and HUD visibility for PvP combat. The thing I don't get is in order for PvP to start, you need to shoot or slap someone and they need to shoot or slap you back and then PvP engages. They need to see you to directly confront you and initiate said battle. So how does stealth, where when you're crouched and you're doing bonus damage from an enemy who doesn't know your whereabouts, factor into PvP? That's what I don't get. Unless it's something like HunterHunted, which I mentioned, where you're targeting someone who's targeting someone else, so they don't know where you are, but you know where they are. That could very well be a possibility. I just wanted to put it out there because a lot of you were asking me about stealth and how exactly it works in Fallout 76. Outfits. In Fallout 76, we allow players to wear whatever armor pieces are optimal for survival, but they can choose to wear an outfit on top of that. So you can look how you want and not sacrifice survivability. The freedom also means your fellow 76ers can look wildly different, so you're still seeing combat armor, raider armor, and the friendly blue of Vault 76, but you're also seeing people wearing clown costumes, park ranger outfits, and more. I'm not sure how many outfits are in the game. Funny enough, the outfits they mentioned here in this outfits page were exactly the ones I got to try on. I tried on the park ranger one, I tried on the amusement park outfit. They were vastly different from anything else I saw in the Wasteland. I think someone had a cultist mask on. That's something else I did see out there. But hey man, Dark Souls has a term called Fashion Souls, right? Where you just look good in combat. It doesn't matter about the stats. At least in Fallout 76, we can maintain the stats and look good while doing it. Here's a little 4-kill streak for you in Call of Duty. Supply drops come from an automated system that was built by the emergency services of the Appalachia, which would allow people to request government airdrops of vital supplies. Every now and then you'll come across a US government supply requisition holotape, and if you get into a radio tower, you can call in the supply drop. Of course, goodies falling from the sky potentially attracts not only enemy AI, but other players as well. I know I made the Call of Duty joke, but I really hope it doesn't end up like where people are stealing my care packages and stuff, even though I'm the one who did all the legwork. Anyway, this seems like a cool dynamic moment because I imagine myself exploring the world, going from point A to point B, seeing a supply drop coming down and instantly going off the beaten path, finding out who dropped this, if I can maybe take it from them. That would actually be pretty cool. But anyway, that's all the details I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this in the comments down below. So do fire away. Other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content I create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.